Hi, welcome to Raj Alnai. In today's video, we are going to discuss about RFP template. As we all know, whenever we are working on application development, it is always essentially important for us to understand about how the request for proposals and all everything will be made. Because based on the request for proposal, whatever the project management planning reports will be submitted. Subsequently, based on that, whatever the related application will be developed subsequently in later days. So, in today's video, I am going to discuss about the kind of points we need to consider when we are preparing a request for proposal. Because there are some questions where we need to know to prepare an RFP document, all that. So, whatever the questions and all everything is what being a people who are involving in pre-sales team, because sometimes even being a business analyst, we will be involving in it. So one should be knowing about what this template is for and what kind of questions to be answered, all that. Now, these are the questions which we have to answer majorly whenever we are working on the request for proposal and all that. So this is what generally, first of all, we have to know. The first point about how long the customer is in business, like how long the business is running and all that. At the same time, we must be knowing about what are their primary focused areas, because what are the focused areas and all, right? What are the primary focus areas on the business? That also should be known to us well in advance. At the same time, we must be knowing about the customers, who are the customers who are currently have. So the number of customers, right? So that information must be known to us. Along with the customers and all, we have to know about the details of the customers, because whether the organization is in a state of active condition or not. If it is in active condition, who are their customers? So that sort of knowledge is also required. Next, we must have an understanding over the company's vision, right? So describing the business about the vision of the company, which they wants to work for the next 5 years, right? So about their company, market, their product, growth, expansions, all that. So this is all something related, completely focusing on the corporate part, right? So all these things, whatever you can see over here, all these things are relating to the corporate. This is all something relating to the corporate part. So this part, right? So this is all relating to the corporate. This is the first thing. So once it is then, the next we must provide a description over the product, what exactly this product is all about, and describing about the project, followed by the kind of timelines, right? So when the product was launched, right? So we must be knowing about historical timelines, etc., all that. At the same time, we must be knowing about the release schedule as well for the product which is moving forward. What was the release schedule do we have? We must have an idea over the release schedule when there are planning for the release, all that. At the same time, we must be knowing about product renew rate, that means percentage of the customers in the business history, right? At the same time, supported maintenance agreements, right? So these sort of knowledge is also one of the key elements we have to be focused. Next, we must have a clear understanding about total number of licenses, etc., all that. At the same time, the kind of partnerships, types of partnerships what organization has, followed by the product capability. At the same time, license of perpetualities. So these aspects has to be covered in this area. So after that, we need to understand about the levels of it, whatever the levels of the maintenance which is available here, followed by the product upgrades, the kind of benefits and as well as restrictions to standard and maintain the agreements, all that, which must be including the standard maintenance agreement copies, right? So preventive maintenance services, all these things will be a part of it. After that, we must be knowing about multiple levels of support which is available, so that we have to describe that equally. Next, we need to know about the list of days and working hours which is to be supported here. Followed by this, we must be describing the process of which users can report the issues and as well as service levels to be provided, wherein we need to know about the escalation points. What are the different escalation points do we have and all? So these escalation points has to be mentioned over here. So once the escalation points was mentioned, we must be knowing about the permitted submitters, right? So who are the permitted submitters here, right? At the same time, we must be knowing about the benefits restrictions. At the same time, standard support agreements. At the same time, online service capabilities which are available for the users, knowing about the notifications, notification updates, notification vulnerabilities. All these things must be known to us well in advance. So once the notification vulnerabilities, all that stuff, the next we need to know about the updates here. What are the updates do we have? So updates has to be focused more on time to adopt and all that. And followed by this, if there is any kind of training which is essentially required to provide, what kind of training to be provided to whom, right? Who are the targeted customers? So all this information has to be updated under the training part, wherein instructor-led training or online training, etc. Followed by that, we need to know about the resources part. What are the resources we have, like online resources, oral services, all that. At the same time, mentoring and consulting, right? User groups, infrastructure, architectural environment. So these are the complete understanding over the request for proposal, which being a people who are working on the pre-sales team should have an idea. Not only this, we must have a continuous idea over the architecture part. Architecture at the same time, what kind of solutions are we going to provide? Either it can be a cloud solution or hosted solution, knowing about the databases, SQL servers, dependencies. At the same time, what kind of licenses software do we require to use, right? So what are the software licenses are we using? So all these things will be a part of request for proposal. So when we are preparing a request for proposal and all that, so these are the points which has to be considered. Of course, there were few more points apart, because RFP, knowing about RFP is a huge document. This is not a document which is something simple to understand. RFP document is something very huge, where we need to know about the business model, functionalities, market level strategies, technicalities, functional related, right? All these things has to be considered when we are working on RFP documents, all that. So this is all about RFP and the kind of questions what is to be answered, all that. I hope you got an idea over this. So if you have any questions, if you have any queries in regard to that, please reach out to the contact details which will be posted in below to this video. Thank you.